Well, good morning, fans. Welcome in here on Audio Sports Online, your home for Avon football, as your Avon Orioles are going to be taking on the Westfield Shamrocks in JV football action. I'm Rob Kendall. Thanks for joining us on our tape-delayed broadcast of Avon JV football. Both teams out on the field, and as you can see there, the Orioles huddled up along the sideline, and we'll have football action for you here in just a few moments. Before we do, I want to thank all of our sponsors that make our broadcast possible for Avon football throughout the year, including Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, and the Avon Dental Center. And special thanks to those folks. As you can see, the Orioles will be the home team on the scoreboard. They'll wear the home black jerseys, white letters and numbers, gold trim, black helmets. And the Westfield Shamrocks will be the visitors today. They'll wear the white jerseys, gold pants, gold helmets, green letters, and numbers. And it was a hard-fought loss for the varsity team last night as they traveled to Westfield, ultimately falling 21-20. So looking for a little bit of revenge this morning, and we'll see if the Avon JV Orioles can get it. Hey, Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com or by calling 317-243-2372. Shamrocks are going to kick the ball off to begin the contest here today. And Avon will have the football first. They'll be moving from left to right. Fall has certainly arrived here in central Indiana. And there's the kick. Be taken back at the 20. Gets the corner to the 30. And out of bounds up near the 50-yard line. Good start for the Avon Orioles. As that time it was number 28 for Avon, Cameron Moulton with the return. Very nice job on the return. And it'll be first down for Avon in Westfield territory. Certainly a great start to the ball game. Don't forget, a little bit later today, we'll have the archive podcast of this broadcast up, as well as our varsity game from last night. So go back and check out a very exciting weekend of Avon football. First down and 10 for the Orioles. Out of shotgun. There's the give. Lean ahead. And a host of Shamrocks bring them down. As that was number 27, Cameron Sims for the Orioles. With the short gain on first down. It'll bring up second down now. As Avon already in Westfield territory on that opening kickoff. They did give him a gain of about 3 yards that time. So it'll bring up second down. And about 9:30 to play here in the first quarter of action. Take your time, Leck. You're good. There's the give, near side of the field. And, again, that's Molden. He's got the sideline, and they said he stepped out of bounds, but a nice gain that time out of bounds near the 30.
Well, I'll tell you, Avon, for a JV team, they have the best rushers. You know, they must. Their varsity team must be very deep in that position because they. Some of these guys look like they'd be varsity starters for about 95% of the teams in the state.
Leck Zorn joining us now. Leck had an exciting game at Plainfield and Franklin last night. I'm sure he'll tell us about it. Again to Moulton, the give, and a lean ahead down near the 23-yard line.
Yeah, and I didn't see. I wonder if Jarrett Stephen has moved up to the varsity squad now. But nevertheless, Moulton doing a good job. And, we've also seen some good things this year from several of the rushers here on the Orioles.
It'll bring up a second down now and about 2 yards for Avon. As out of the shotgun, quick pass, throws, got a man caught. on the near side of the field. Another nice gain for Avon, as that was number 29, Nicholas Gray with the catch, and Zach Reinhardt, of course, at quarterback.
Yeah, less than 90 seconds for the Orioles to get into the red zone there.
And, nice job, as you said, just under a minute 30, and Avon really effectively moving the ball early on.
Yeah, Reinhardt is, showing a lot of promise as well. And so now line up again with Sims, the lone back. Sims takes it, and he cuts through a hole, gets inside the 10. He's brought down after a gain of about 5 or 6.
Yeah, Sims has done a nice job so far on this drive.
Yeah, I mean, between Sims and Steven, they have quite a future here at the running back position over these next 2 or 3 years at Avon. The Orioles losing last night to Westfield in the varsity matchup of these two teams, but now the future of the program's trying to get on track here as they line up with Zion Davis and Cedric McBride to the right. Sims, the running back. High snap, gets it to Sims, though. He's going all the way to the right side of the field. We got a flag here, and he's brought down for, it looks like, a loss of 1 or 2.
Yeah, and of course, you had that Plainfield game. Plainfield last night. How was that?
Oh my God, it was an incredible game. It was neck and neck for about until late in the third quarter, and then Plainfield just I don't know what happened, but they just suddenly turned it on and they massacred Franklin with the 31 consecutive points in 10 minutes to put the game away, including probably the most spectacular play I've ever commentated in my 5 years. It was an amazing 55-yard one-handed touchdown pass by Gavin Ritter. One-handed touchdown catch. I hope there's video of it somewhere because it's play of the day material.
So to bring up second down for Avon. Snap, pass, there's a catch, center of the field, and down inside the right at about the 10-yard line. I believe that was number 5 on the catch, Zion Davis.
Yeah, he's been lined up. I think he's been in every play so far for offense. But, yeah, it was another 300-plus yard game for Ben Slayton, only a sophomore, and his 2 senior wide receivers, Gavin Ritter and Dante Keys, are both outstanding. Especially, like I said, one of the pivotal plays in pulling away for the win, and we'll hold that thought. But we got Davis and McBride lined up to the left, and then I believe it's Carrillo lined up to the, and now a hand. They threw it up the middle. Samson James was the intended receiver.
Yeah, check that. I think that was number 5, Zion Davis, the intended receiver there. And it'll bring
yes. I misread it. Read it backwards.
4th down now and 8. The ball's on the 10, so they need to get to the 2, and we'll see if Avon's going to elect to go for it. It looks like they will.
And, this is part of the charm of high school ball because the NFL and even major college, like 99% of the time you get a field goal attempt here, but very often in high school ball, they go for it, either because they don't have a good enough kicker or because, they're adventurous.
And obviously working on developing players. Snap, back to pass, throwing, and incomplete.
Nearly intercepted there, just by the hand of Matthew Noyes of Westfield. But, yeah, and basically it was late third, early fourth quarter. Slayton threw just a short screen pass, and it was actually intended for Keys, but it went over his head. But then Ritter grabbed it with one hand, pulled it in, tucked it, and took it all the way.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
Hey, McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and offer floral designs for various occasions. They're located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon and can be reached at 579-7900.
So 3 receivers to the right. Now fakes the handoff, throws out, got a completion there on the right side, and he's got running room, got the first down. That was Pat Beam. He's a 6'1", 150-pound sophomore. So they need to bulk him up a little bit, but showing good promise there on that first play. Westfield's been one of the turnaround stories of the last few years. They had, I think, 5 consecutive losing seasons, and then out of nowhere went all the way to the state championship game in Class 5A back in 2013, losing to the mighty Cathedral Fighting Irish. Speaking of which, big upset they experienced last night to Fishers. definitely a big win for the Tigers, who've, been struggling this year. So, handoff there to Owen McGraw, and he's brought down. It looks like they're going to, mark him for a loss of a few yards. Well, this has been Fisher's weakest season since their debut 10 years ago, but that's certainly the win over Cathedral is a good way to get you back on track. So they give them credit for -5 there. And now Evan Manley, the quarterback, lines up in shotgun. One running back, three receivers to the left, one to the right. Takes the snap, it fakes, pump fakes, then he takes it himself, but he's tripped up and brought down for another loss. And he only might have gotten back to maybe a gain of 1 or so. It depends on where the spot is. They're marking him at the 22. But, Westfield now working on their 4th consecutive winning season. They are the 6th-ranked team in Class 5A in the varsity. And besides that, they definitely have gotten a lot of favor from the football gods, and I'll explain that in a minute. But now, two receivers to each side now, and one running back. Evan Manley is the quarterback for Westfield. Pump fakes, throws up the middle. He's got a completion, so good catch there. He was kneeling down when he caught it, but nevertheless, Pat Beam makes a good reception there. I'm sorry, that's Cameron Nance, the quarterback, not Evan Manley.
Yeah, he is going to be short of the first down, it looks like, Lex, so they're going to send the punt unit on here.
Yeah. So let's see, back deep to receive for the Orioles. We have Cameron Moulton. That's Kamryn. First time I've ever seen that spelling. He's standing between the 35 and 40. Weeks snap, but he gets it. It's caught at the 36, and he's hit immediately.
Yeah, that was a big hit. Nice job to hang on to the football that time. It was a huge hit coming down there from the Avon or the Westfield defense against Avon. Hey, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about them at RedCobraWrestlingAcademy.com.
Well, I'll tell you, certainly the weather's, we're starting to get a real autumn-type weather here in central Indiana. I hold that thought till after this play. But the high snap, now he hands it off over to Moulton. He takes it over to the right side but doesn't get anything out of it. I think they're going to mark him down right at the line of scrimmage. Well, I didn't realize it was that cold, 55 degrees. Now it explains why it took a while for my blood to get pumping this morning. I think I'm back to normal now, still sitting here in the press box in a short-sleeved shirt. But it is supposed to warm up to 66 later today. And so now they line up with Moulton, wide receiver, out to the right, along with Sims, the running back, 2 receivers out to the left. They hand it off to Sims. And now he breaks through, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Wow, it looks like it was going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But Cameron Sims takes it about 64 yards for the touchdown.
Yeah, really nice job there, Lek. As you said, he looked like he was sort of wrapped up and going to be taken down there for a gain, but not nearly this big a gain as it ended up with, as he goes the distance and takes it home for the score, and it's 6-0 in favor of Avon with 3:20 left to play in the first quarter.
Boy, do you remember Tommy Frazier in, I think it was the Orange Bowl about 20 years ago?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And the extra point there is good. Kicker there for Avon is Brian Mansfield.
And Mansfield puts it through, so 7-0 our score. Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher Lefebvre of Avon Dental Center have been in practice in Hendricks County with Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech. They're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or by calling 272-8100.
It's hard to believe we've now completed 7 of the 9 weeks of the regular season here, and Time flies when you're having fun. Certainly, it's been an exciting year for the 6 Hendricks County teams, and we're hoping that it'll be capped off by a good playoff run. But nevertheless, it has been an exciting season. We've been privileged to bring you. We hope you've enjoyed all these exciting games, and now we're going to have kickoff here. Looks like it's going to be. Well, number 7 is listed as. No, I'm sorry. That's and the kick goes out of bounds. It was not. Mansfield kicked it out of bounds at about the 30. I'm not sure what he was going for there, but. Nevertheless, Westfield will be taking over now at the 40. Westfield is the Shamrocks. It just occurred to me, it was when they lost to Cathedral, that was an all-Irish matchup. It was the Fighting Irish versus the Shamrocks back in the 2013 Class 5A state class championship game. Cathedral's since been forced to move up to Class 6A because of their dominance. And they were ranked number 1 in Class 6A going into last night's game. Presumably they'll drop a few notches after that loss to Fishers. So, 2 receivers to each side now for Westfield. Fakes the handoff. Screen pass completed on the left side. Brought up past the 45, nearly the 50. It will be good for a first down. Just shy of the 50 there. 3:07 to go. Avon leading 7-0. Cameron Sims scored on a spectacular 64-yard rush for the Orioles. So now the same formation for the Shamrocks. Fakes the handoff. Throws up the middle, and it is, bobbled a couple of times, tipped dangerously up in the air, but falls to the ground incomplete, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Shamrocks. Caleb Pettyjohn was the intended receiver. Cameron Sims, though, he's a good size, 5'11", 185, but he didn't strike me as the kind of guy who'd have enough power to break through a wall of defenders like he did, so that was a very impressive move. So, clock is stopped here. I'm not sure what the issue is, but 2 receivers to each side for the Shamrocks. Cameron Nance is their quarterback. He takes it in shotgun. Hands off now. He's got some room over on the right side. We got a flag here, 2 flags. He gets down the right side past the 35, past the 30, and is knocked out of bounds. That was Owen McGraw there with a good run, if it counts. It's going to be holding against the Shamrocks, however, so it will be coming back with 2:39 to go here in the first quarter at Avon.
Yeah, those are tough ones, Leck, because you get a nice gain that time, but pulled back there, and you got to do it all over again.
Yep.
So, yeah, as you said, sectional action really beginning to shape up here on the varsity side of things. Avon, they're 3-4, but could easily be 6-1 or 5-2. And Plainfield now at 4-3. They could easily be a 1-loss squad. Brownsburg undefeated, so it's really going to be an exciting season of sectional action in Hendricks County.
Indeed, yes. And now handoff again to McGraw. He's got another hold. Now takes it back to the right side, past the 50, up to the 45. So it's going to be a gain by about. He does have the. So there was some confusion on the scoreboard. They have not been real good about updating the scoreboard in this game, but I think that was about 15 yards there by McGraw. Now it's showing second. Now it was showing 2nd and 79 on the scoreboard. Now it's up to 2nd and 5. So 15-yard gain there by McGraw. And now a pass that was intended for Pettyjohn. It was nearly intercepted on a dive, but it falls to the ground incomplete, bringing up 4th and 5 for the Shamrocks.
Yeah, I think that was number 17, Drake Jensen, getting in there for your Orioles and knocking that ball down. So a very nice job that time by Avon.
Great effort, yeah. And so now we'll get a punt there. The punter for Westfield is Alex Bales. And he takes it Moulton back deep to receive. It bounces and it stays in bounds. Looked like it was going out, but it took an odd bounce and to stay in and is downed by Avon at the 10. So that'll be a net punt of about 46 yards.
Yeah, it's almost a perfect punt there for the Westfield Shamrocks. It gets them down at the 10-yard line, no return. Actually, they're going to put it at the 9, so even better result for Westfield than initially anticipated.
So now we've got McBride and Davis lined up to the right for the Orioles, one receiver to the left, empty backfield. No, sorry.
Give to Sims that time.
Yeah. Sims was like standing at a position where I couldn't see him from my vantage point, but yeah, Sims was in there and he got about 3 or 4 up the middle, 1:34 to go. Avon leading 7-0. Sims got the only touchdown of the game on a 64-yarder.
You know, we were commenting on the air on the WIRZ broadcast last night at the Brownsburg game what a groundbreaker Avon was in terms of the field turf. You know, they were one of the first schools to get the field turf, and now it's common for most of the schools in Hendricks County, as that's going to go to the far side of the field. Sims
got the first down,
yep.
and more past the 20. I think they're going to give him forward progress up to the 22 or 23.
Anyway, what I was saying there, Leck, was, you know, Avon was really a groundbreaker in terms of having the field turf and that state-of-the-art facility. Now that most of the schools in Hendricks County, as well as Hoosier Crossroads Conference, and really throughout central Indiana, many of them now have it. But Avon really one of the first to have this the field turf. I remember when they got it put in, it was such a big deal.
Yeah, and it's great. You know, it's supposedly, you know, easier to maintain, and you know, I guess has a much lower injury rate than some of the early artificial surfaces. So yeah, it's great that it's becoming accessible to the common man, whereas it was such a luxury item in the early years. So now screen pass over to the right side, and I couldn't tell he got it, but he took it up to about the 30, so it will be close to the first. No, he does have the first down there. No, it's going to be just short, about a yard.
Yeah, you know, we laugh about it, Leck, but the old RCA Dome, that turf was really concrete. There was basically concrete under that turf.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys got hurt. We don't laugh about that, but, you know, it's funny to think now that wasn't that long ago that guys were playing on concrete, basically. And now not only are the pro teams obviously state-of-the-art, but even many of these high schools have this great field turf.
Yeah, and not to mention the colleges, yeah. So it's certainly one of the great developments, and of course one side effect of that you mentioned, we've mentioned a lot the last few weeks, so we sound like a broken record, is the bounce of the ball is becoming more predictable, and that's really worked into the advantage of these punters. So, you know, a vast majority of the time they're able to get it to bounce the direction they want after contact. But, yeah, you know, of course, I'll never forget, speaking of punts, what I always refer to as that punt attempt that we had last year up in the Brownsburg-Lawrence North game. And definitely one of the most bizarre plays I've ever seen. We had one almost as bizarre last night where John Hagee, the kicker/punter for Plainfield. I'll hold that thought till after this play. But so now a handoff there to this time we got a new running back in there. That's number 26 for Avon. That's Jabon Carter. He's a junior, 5'10", 160. They're going to give him credit for about 1 yard there.
Yeah, and, you know, we were chatting before we went on the air here today with some folks in the press box. Said Avon is 3-4, but they are a much more dangerous team than a 3-4 record. Obviously, could have very easily beat Westfield last night. They're one of the premier teams in Central Indiana. Could have beat Brownsburg a couple weeks ago. They're maybe the premier team in Central Indiana, and you know, lost to a pretty good. As there's a little stretch play left side.
Yeah,
Carter's
anywhere. Brought down for a loss. They're going to get him for about a 5-yard loss on that one. They were all over him.
You know, obviously lost to Whiteland, which is a good squad a couple weeks ago, and then Ben Davis. So all their losses have been to quality teams, and at least in the case of the Brownsburg and certainly the game last night, easily could have been victories for Avon. So and actually at Whiteland they had a sizable lead at one point. So
yeah, Whiteland came back there strong in the end. And 3 of their 4 losses were by 8, 1, and 1.
Yeah.
The only bad loss was to Ben Davis.
Yeah, and then obviously they beat Hamilton Southeastern, which that's the only loss of the year for the Royals, and they're a great team. We cover them week in, week out.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's going to be a very interesting sectional matchup. And, if I would not want to draw Avon, I wouldn't. I said that, and I think if that Brownsburg-Avon rematch would be an instant classic.
Yeah, it could be great to give them an opportunity for revenge. Just like I was talking last night during the Plainfield game, I really hope they get an opportunity for a revenge match against Decatur Central in the playoffs, especially, if they come back healthy with Dawson Anderson. And, I'll tell you, last night was a real lesson learned, all that thought. But now we've got McBride and Davis lining up to the left for the Orioles, along with, I believe that's Lucas Carrillo to the right. And now we've got a whistle here.
Yeah, flag flies. Going to stop play here.
So it's a funny thing. I've never seen this before in 38 years of watching football. The referee grabbed the flag and whistled, but he didn't drop the flag.
Yeah, it's a illegal substitution is the call on the Orioles.
So, fast-moving game already. 10:24 your time of day. We're already well into the second quarter, 7:56 to go and counting. Avon leading by a score of 7-0. So 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Quarterback gets it, rolls to his left. He could take it. He might have some running room, but he lobs a pass that's deflected, could have been intercepted.
Yeah, very lucky as that ball was swatted down on the far side of the field, and I think that was number 2 for Westfield. They got the hand on it to knock it down. Really, actually, could have easily been a pick 6, and that was Zach Janikowski. And now Plainfield. Now Avon's going to have to punt it away.
Okay. Oh, thanks. So now we've got a punt coming up for the Orioles, barring a very improbable fake, although sometimes, once in a while, you actually do see fakes like this in high school ball. Now we got, it's a bad snap. They better jump on it, and he's brought down inside the 5. So the Westfield Shamrocks will be taken over with extremely, extremely, extremely good field position at the 4. Mansfield mishandled it, and he did everything he could just to, keep the Shamrocks from taking it in for a touchdown, but they still don't have far to go. They'll have first and goal at the 4 with 7:30 to go here in the second quarter at Avon.
Yeah, as you said, just a little bit of a low snap that time, and unfortunately for the Orioles, unable to pick it up off the turf and get the kick away, so it'll be first and goal for Westfield.
So now a handoff there, and now he's brought down immediately. They were all over him. That was Owen McGraw. He's had a couple of nice gains tonight, but they stuffed him on that one.
Yeah, big push there off the interior line for Avon defensively, and pushed him back. Loss of about 2 yards on the play.
Well, Avon is in what I've been calling for the last few years the sectional of death, along with Ben Davis, Brownsburg, and Pike. But this year Pike is winless. They've often been a top 10 team over the years, but they've really hit a brick wall this season. Ben Davis, they're a good team, but they're not the juggernaut that they are most years. And so now 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff there to McGraw, and he takes it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, nice job. Got a hole there, got wrapped up, but was able to lean forward and get it into the end zone, so it's a touchdown for Westfield. And with 6:12 to go in the first half, it's now a 7-6 ball game.
So the Orioles are now an extra point away from tying it. We see who their kicker is.
Number 15.
Alex Bales, yes, of course. Yes, he's also the punter, and he hits it.
So we're tied, 6:12 left to go in the first half. Avon and Westfield, exciting JV action here today on Audio Sports Online. And don't forget, coming up Tuesday, we'll have our weekly chat with Mark Bless, the head coach of the Avon Orioles. Brian Scott will talk with him, talk about that hard-fought game against Westfield, and then look ahead to this Friday night in which the Zionsville Eagles travel to Avon.
Yeah, and I hope you all especially got it here because that will be senior day here at Avon, the last home game of this class, which really arguably the most accomplished senior class in Avon history, along with last year's. You know, these guys, most of these guys, these seniors were part of that sensational team last year that went all the way to the semi-state before losing in overtime to eventual state champion Center Grove. So I hope you'll be out here to give these guys a farewell. Hopefully they'll be back here for a few playoff games as well, but certainly it'll be their last season game and it will be their official farewell. Plainfield has their senior day next week as well against Whiteland. So now a kickoff by Bales, and it's going to be taken just shy of the 10, brought up to the 15, 20. Yeah, and he's got some room on the right side, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, and he's tripped up and knocked out of bounds about the 38. That's an outstanding return there by Robbie Heaton. He's a junior for the Orioles.
Yeah, really nice job there, Leck, as Heaton getting there on the sideline, and he was off to the races. And one man to beat, the punter, or the kicker, I should say, got him, but not before a great return and deep into Westfield territory.
Yeah, he took it in just under 50 yards. And what was funny is was watching him as he brought down the return those first few yards. He switched directions 4 or 5 times looking for a hole, and he finally found one, and then he jumped on it. So a great job there by Heaton. And now we got 2 receivers to the right. We got McBride and one other to the right, then one to the left. And a handoff there. Then on reverse, they give it to Moulton. He takes her on the left side. He's got some room. He's got a first down and more. Inside the 30, past the 25, knocked out of bounds around the 24. So that's going to be about a 16-yard pickup there by Moulton. So it was a great play there. Reinhardt handed off to, I believe it was Carter, who returned to his left, but then he handed off to Moulton, who took it all the way around the left side. So
and
now
the official started to wind the clock, then realized you don't wind the clock when they go out of bounds, so quickly had to correct himself there.
So now we've got handoff. Now we got a handoff there to Sims again, and he takes it up for, I believe he's going to get a first. He's around the 15 or so.
Yeah, so it'll bring up a first down for the Orioles, and they get a nice job of moving the chains.
So yeah, definitely they're trying to get back those points they lost as a result of that bad punt, or the no punt, excuse me. So now we have Zion Davis lined up to the right, and then Cedric McBride up to the left. Now handoff there to Cameron Sims. He takes it. He's inside the 10, almost up to the 5. Yes. So he has the Avon. He has Avon knocking on the door of getting back into the lead.
Somebody got him from behind that time, Leck, and just a little pushed him over. Otherwise, he could have been in for the score as first down and 10 for the Orioles with 4 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the first half.
So now we've got Davis lined up to the right, McBride lined up to the left. Now handoff to Sims. And he takes it inside the 5. He pushes up toward the end zone. I couldn't tell if he got in or not. I'm waiting for
the ball went over. The knee was down before the ball went over, and that's enough for a first down. So it'll be first and goal. But he did not get into the end zone, and so again, it'll bring up first down and goal for Avon from the 1-yard line. Ball went across, but the knee was down before the ball went across the goal line.
Yeah, it looks like it's literally about 1 inch shy. So anyway, same formation for the Orioles. Handoff to Sims, and did he get it? The Orioles say so.
Nope, no signal yet. They're going to say second down. Again, same thing. He was in the end zone, but spun into the end zone, and they said the knee was down before the ball went across the goal line.
But if it takes a couple of plays for him to get in, it's not that bad for the Orioles because that just gives Westfield less time to do something when they get the ball before the half.
Yeah, Sims wants the touchdown though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Davis now up to the right, McBride and Moulton to the right, Davis to the left. Sims the running back, Reinhardt in shotgun. Takes it, gives it to Sims again, And did they stop him again? It's going to be real close. I couldn't tell if he broke the plane or not. Apparently they're saying not.
Yeah, that time it wasn't a matter of being down. It was a matter of just being pushed back. Got right up there to the goal line and actually may have lost a little bit of yardage there as the Westfield defense has come to play. And this is just man against man right now as they're trying to smash it up the middle, just literally needing to move the ball 1 yard to get into the end zone. But Westfield doing a nice job so far as your Orioles want to desperately get these 7 points, or 6 points I should say, to take the lead back.
Yeah, they've run off about a minute and a half more of clock, though. So now we got, again, the same formation, McBride and Moulton to the left, Davis to the right. Sims gets it on the snap, and he plows forward again, and I think they might have stopped him.
They did stop him, and again, smash mouth football, and Avon just could not move that Westfield interior line. And now we will see what Westfield wants to do as there's some confusion out there on the field. Avon started off, then stopped. Then Westfield started off and stopped. And now with 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go, it looks like the Orioles are going to go for it on 4th down and 1, not going to kick the field goal. So we will see what happens here. Out of the shotgun now this time.
Yeah.
And
same formation, though. And now he gives it. Now and Reinhardt takes it in himself. And I think he broke. Yes, he broke the plane.
What a great second effort by Reinhardt as he was stopped in the backfield and then just spun away just enough. And he's got some long arms, able to reach his arms over the goal line and get it in for the score. So that was a huge touchdown there for the Avon Orioles as it took them every bit of energy they had to move that ball the 1 yard necessary.
Yeah, they took 2 more minutes off the clock as well, so it worked out into their favor. So now Mansfield on the extra point here.
And it's blocked. So the ball's blocked, and with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first half, it's now a 13-7 Avon lead. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com or by calling 317-243-2372. And McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and offer floral designs for various occasions. They're located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon and can be reached at 579-7900.
Back here at Avon, your Orioles have just taken a 13-7 lead on a 1 yard touchdown rush by Zach Reinhardt. Reinhardt has very good size. He's listed at 6'5", 190. And after they stopped him, he just reached out his right arm and managed to break the plane with it. So it was a great second effort there. Although I will say you got to give extreme credit to the Westfield defense that they managed to stuff Sims 3 plays in a row. That was an outstanding effort, and shows a lot of promise for the future defensive line of this program. So now Mansfield kicks deep. It's taken inside the 10, brought up to the 10, 15, 20. Heaton, and I'm sorry, that's he takes it over to the right side. He's got some room, so another good return for the Orioles. He's brought out past the 40. So that was good. That was Caleb Pettyjohn there. So 1:52 to go. And, the Shamrocks have about 2 fewer minutes to work with than they would have had Sims scored when it was 1st and goal there at the 1. So now they do have all 3 timeouts left, so they still have plenty of time to get something going here on offense. So 2 receivers to each side now. Owen McGraw, the running back. Low snap, but he gets it in. The screen pass over on the right side, but I'm not sure who. Let's see, there was Caleb Sanborn and Caleb Pettyjohn were both lined up to the right. However, the ball went several feet. It went really between both of them and was several feet away from either of them, so I'm not sure who the intended receiver actually was. But anyway, again, 2 receivers to each side now. Fakes the handoff, and he dodges a sack. No, he is sacked there. He dodged it first, but then they brought him down anyway. So good start to the drive for the defense, and the Orioles take a timeout. I'm not sure why they would do it, but
Well, with a minute 33 to go, thinking if they can get him off the field here and get the ball back and try to score.
Silly me, of course, yeah. And I was thinking that Westfield might do it to try to preserve the clock, but on their drive. But now things are looking bleak for the Shamrocks. I'll tell you, though, Shamrocks, definitely have gotten a lot of favor from the football gods the last couple of years. Back at the end of the 2013 season, the three Tippecanoe County teams, Lafayette, Jeff, McCutcheon, and Harrison were all dropped from the HCC, which I thought was good for both logistical and especially competitive reasons. However, in Westfield sectional, the other three teams who joined them in their sectional are those very three Tippecanoe County schools. So it basically guarantees that the Shamrocks will get to the final 8 in the state every year in their class until they do the realignment. So definitely they have a lot of good fortune there. And, there is a lot of luck in where you're classified. And so now 2 receivers to each side. Now fakes the handoff there. Looks downfield. He throws it deep, but it's going to be way overthrown.
So with a minute 27 to go, Avon will get the ball back as Westfield's going to come off the field.
And with 2 timeouts, so they got time to do something. But, there are some teams, like, for example, Plainfield, they went through a 5 or 6 year stretch where they lost to either Roncalli or Cathedral every year in the sectional. And they had some great teams that would have won a lot of sectionals in the state. They just, were in and now they rush the punter, but he gets it off, and it's going to be fielded at the 22. I thought he would fair catch it, but he didn't, and he was brought down for a slight loss on the punt.
Yeah, hey, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about them at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com.
But it definitely has been an exciting year. Obviously Brownsburg 7-0, red-hot start to, begin the John Hart era. Avon, they're 3-4, but should be 6-1. Certainly have a lot of potential to make some noise in the playoffs. Tri-West ranked number 5 going into last night's game. They got their 6th consecutive win. I'm sure my buddy J.P. Sinclair had a lot of fun out there in Liston with that one. And Plainfield, they're 4-3, could be 6-1, and especially if they get Dawson Anderson back, they'll be primed for a playoff run. Danville's won their last 3 games. They're 5-2 now. And Cascade, really the only team in the county that's not doing so well this year.
Yeah, Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher Lefebvre of Avon Dental Center have been practicing in Hendricks County with Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech. They're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or by calling 272-8100.
So now 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Cameron Sims is back in there at running back. Reinhardt in shotgun. He takes it. Looks deep. He throws up the middle, and looks like there's a little bit of mistiming there. Cameron Moulton was the intended receiver. So I just realized you have Cameron Sims, spelled the usual way, and then you have Cameron Moulton, Kamryn. So it's actually Cameron and Cameron. So I guess Cameron is meant to be a 2-syllable instead of a 3-syllable name. So 1:09 to go now, 2nd and 10 for the Orioles. They have it at the doesn't say on the scoreboard, it looks like the 19 to me. Now Reinhardt takes it. He's got some, and he throws on the run. And the defender falls down, so he gets it over to Moulton, who's got the first down past the 40 up to about the 41. The clock stops with 58.2 seconds now to move the chains. The play covers 22 yards.
Now, Avon, when they look at the film on this, they're going to, in a learning experience there, probably tell Moulton, get out of bounds on that one because he ran back into the center field, only picked up about 3 or 4 more yards, but the clock keeps moving.
Yeah.
And that's much bigger at this stage of the game.
The only thing that kept it from being a disaster is that the clock did stop for a few seconds to move the chains. But, yeah, certainly that was just a little fundamental thing. That's why we have JV teams, so they can learn. So screen pass now to 26. He's got it past the 50, and he got another first down. And brought down at about the 48.
Coming back.
Oh, okay.
Going to get a hold there at about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, that was Jabon Carter with his first big play of the morning. You know, I've gotten so accustomed to saying the big play of the evening or the night. It throws me off when we do these morning games, but anyway.
Yeah, holding call on the Orioles. That was pretty blatant there as a lineman got turned around and then made the hold right as the running back ran past him. You can hold as long as the official's not looking at you, but when you do it right as the running back is running past you, they are going to whistle you.
Well, I see quite a few coats and jackets out here in the stands here at Avon on both sides of the field. So now, one receiver to the left, two to the right. Reinhardt takes it. He scrambles. He scrambled a lot today. Gets it off, but it's dropped there by Zion Davis. 16.4 seconds to go.
Yeah, and we'll see what Avon does here again, Leck, with just 16 seconds to go, and they've still got to go a long way. Don't want to get anybody injured here, and obviously certainly don't want to turn the ball over. So we'll see what they like to do on second. Second down now and long?
It's third, yeah.
Third down. So they may just run the clock out here.
Yeah, the scoreboard has not been updated real diligently tonight. So anyway, so now we've got one receiver to the left, two to the right. Reinhardt in shotgun. He takes it, throws up the middle. It's bounced. It's bobbled. It could have been intercepted. That was a dangerous bobble there by Moulton, but it does fall harmlessly to the ground, incomplete, and it looks like we'll have a punt here.
Yeah, you got to wonder there with that. I mean, again, very dangerous. That's exactly what we talked about. That could happen if you throw the pass there on third down, that the ball could be tipped up in the air like it was and nearly intercepted.
Oh yeah. And, you know, I remember there was a game in the NFL 2 or 3 years ago where somebody, a defender, I think it was at Jacksonville, he tried to ram the ball into the ground on a Hail Mary on the last play, but it just so happened that somebody from the offensive team was standing right in front of him, actually grabbed it out of the air and ran it in for a touchdown. That was a really bizarre play. So now we got a timeout here. Avon taking their last timeout. It's unusual that that the team that has the lead took all 3 of their timeouts, and the team behind didn't take any of theirs. But it's been a great game, though, very competitive. We had nearly one of the best goal line stands I've ever seen since Super Bowl. It might have been had the Shamrocks completed that goal line stand when it was first and goal at the 1, and they almost forced the turnover on downs. I think that would have been the best goal line stand since Super Bowl 16 when the 49ers did it to the Bengals. So now, now the team's Westfield going back over to the sidelines. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there's 11.4 seconds to go here in the second quarter here at Avon with your Orioles with a 13-7 lead. Now the officials are deliberating with some of the Avon players.
What kind of perfume you got on?
All right. So now the Orioles they're lining up with their offense. I'm not sure what they're planning on doing. So Reinhardt is in shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to each side, 1 running back.
They're going to go for it. No, now they're going to kick it. Surprise kick there.
Bounces at the 40, takes a little bit of a Avon bounce, just about a yard, and then it turns back in the other direction and dies. And that runs out the clock, though.
So very effective job that time.
That's another part of the charm of high school football, kickers/punters. You don't see that in the NFL.
Yep, so we are one half in the books. And a little bit of confusion here. Maybe they're going to say it did not run out the clock.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. There seems to have been a lot of confusion here in these last couple of minutes. There's still no time showing on the clock. So I do not know what the heck is going on here. 1 second left. Okay. And, yeah, some of the Orioles were already on their way to the locker room, and they were ordered back.
Yeah, so 1 second left. They'll have a chance for one play here, and we'll see if they like to try to go down the field or if they do just run it out and take it to halftime. Snap, back to pass. It's quarterback draw. He is going to run it, and he's got room to run up across
Wow,
midfield.
he's got something here, but they stop him well short of the end zone, but he got about 20 yards out of it, so that was a nice run there by Cameron Nance.
So that will bring about an end to the first half. One in the books. It's 13-7. Avon leading Westfield in JV action. We'll be back with the second half here on AudioSportsOnline.com.
Well, back here at Avon, we're about to start the second half. It's been an exciting game so far. Never separated. The teams were never separated by more than a touchdown. With 3:20 to go in the first quarter, Avon opened the scoring on a 64-yard touchdown rush by Cameron Sims. Brian Mansfield's extra point made it 7-0. However, the Shamrocks came back very quickly and scored in the second quarter on a rush by Owen McGraw, a 4-yard rush following a bad snap on what was going to be a punt by the Orioles. Alex Bales tied it with his extra point at 7, and then with 2 or 3 to go following 3 consecutive stuffs of Cameron Sims, Zach Reinhart, the quarterback, took it in himself for 1 yard, and the extra point was blocked, bringing us to our current score of 13-7, and now Mansfield will kick off to start the second half. Avon clinging to a 13-7 lead. And he goes for an onside kick. We got a flag, though.
I think it's going to be offsides on the Orioles.
I think you're right, yeah. I think somebody was ahead, had already overzealously moved ahead of Mansfield by the time he made contact with the ball. But anyway, the sun has come out, and it's really warming us up here in the press box. And now up to 57 degrees, so it's warmed up 2 degrees since I last reported. And should be, by the way, the high next Friday night for Senior Day is supposed to be 66, so we should have just great football weather. So come on out and give these seniors a nice farewell. And, of course, hopefully it won't be their total farewell because we were hoping that they'll be making a deep run in the playoffs. And, we're hopeful that we're going to have several Hendricks County teams playing over at Lucas Oil Stadium on Thanksgiving weekend for a state championship. Playing field for 5A, Avon and Brownsburg in 6A, and Tri-West in 3A. Because Tri-West is a 4-time state champion, most recently 2 years ago when they won the Class 3A championship. 20, 25, 30, 35 on the return. And it spins around, stays up. It gets up to about the 40. And we got a scrum out there, for those of you who watch rugby and know what a scrum is. But I was surprised to find out that there are actually a few high school rugby teams here in Indiana high school sports. It's not an IHSAA sponsored sport, but glad to see teams are playing it. I enjoy watching rugby, which for those of you who don't know, it's a British sport that's the forerunner of American football. The British, by the way, think it's blasphemy that we use the word football for this sport, since of course football is the word that they use for what we refer to as soccer, and then they think the word soccer is blasphemous as well. So anyway, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Nance in shotgun. Low snap, but he gets it, throws it up the middle. It's a completion out at the and he breaks a tackle, spins around, gets up to about inside the 35, and he's still going. There's a scrum there, and they push him almost up to the 30. That was a great play there by Caleb Pettyjohn. He's a junior, 6'1", 160 for the Shamrocks. So now they finally mark him down at, it looks like the 37 here. So same formation now. Just pass over to Pettyjohn again. He gets inside the 30 this time. Still up. Man, that's a tough kid for a 160-pounder. He gets up to about the 26 there. Pettyjohn has a lot of yards after contact in this game. So now 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Nance in shotgun. Good snap, throws up the middle, and it is caught and inside the 20. See, who was that? Could not tell from my vantage point. Okay, that was Pettyjohn again. He's come up with a few big catches tonight. So now the Shamrocks in the red zone with 7:39 to go. They trail 13-7. They will take the lead with a touchdown and a successful conversion. So now we've got a whistle here. not sure what the issue is. We can see the Shamrocks making a substitution, though. But anyway, the Shamrocks lined up with Pat Beam and Matthew Meyer out to the right. In addition, they have Caleb Pettyjohn, Tyler Canada, and one other receiver out to the left. Nance fakes the handoff. He runs it up himself up the middle, but they are right on top of him, and he's going to be brought down at around the line of scrimmage. So the crowd now feeling the warm bask of the sun here in Avon on this Saturday morning, the first day of October. Hard to believe we're into October already. So still looking at the trees in the distance, I see nothing but green, but I'm sure that'll be changing probably in the next few days. This is one of my favorite times of year weather-wise, though. So now, let's see, we've got Owen McGraw, the running back, and we got 2 receivers to the right, three to the left. Now fakes the handoff, and Nance takes it himself. This time he gets a few yards, but he's going to be well short of the first down. I think they're going to mark him down about the 14.
I'm like highly allergic to this.
I understand. So it's 3rd down and 10. So now 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, empty backfield. We got some movement on the line, and we got a flag. Flag before the snap. Zionsville is Avon's next opponent. They will be here, like I said, next Friday for Senior Day. The Eagles have some very good victories over the year. They beat Lebanon 55-54. They beat Pike 55-35, so they do have a potent offense. Also got a nice win over Brebeuf Jesuit. And they had a close loss to Hamilton Southeastern by only 7 points. They did lose badly to Westfield. They lost to Brownsburg 38-25. And now they got a man wide open for the touchdown. That's Caleb Pettyjohn on a 14-yard pass from Cameron Nance. So now the conversion becomes important because it determines whether we'll have a tie game or if the Shamrocks will take the lead here with 5:50 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's pretty much the perfect opening drive there, Lek.
Yeah.
If you're a Westfield fan, if you're Avon, obviously you didn't like that at all.
Yeah, indeed. So now Bales on the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So Westfield takes their first lead of the game, 5:50 to go in the third.
Hey, Reynolds Body Shop has been family owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com or by calling 317-243-2372. And McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and offer floral designs for various occasions. They're located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon and can be reached at 579-7900.
Well, back here at Avon, where your Orioles have fallen behind for the first time in this game, they trail the visiting Westfield Shamrocks 14-13. A blocked extra point now is the difference between the two teams. So now Alex Bales set to kick off for Westfield. It's a mid-level kick, and they go. I think they came away with it, but often when you have like short kicks like that, often you can catch your opponent asleep, and they mistakenly treat it like it's a punt. But people often forget that once the rules for kickoffs and punts are different. Once the kickoff goes 10 yards, it is a live ball, and anybody can recover it. So, 1st and 10 at the 34 as Avon takes over, trailing for the first time in the game. And we got a handoff there to, could not tell who that was, but they brought him down for maybe a gain of 1.
I think that was Sims that time.
Sims, yeah. Sims, who had the opening touchdown for the Orioles in the first quarter. 5:23 to go now and counting. Westfield 14, Avon 13. Westfield a 5A program, but they've had more than their share of marquee wins over the years, including they almost pulled off one last week, against Brownsburg, taking the Bulldogs into overtime, losing by 1 point. And now screen pass there over to Moulton, who gets up for maybe 2 or 3. So 4:54 to go now. It's going to be 3rd and long. I'll tell you, we were off the air at the time it happened, but one thing that struck me is that when the half ended, Avon actually went to the locker room. Usually in these freshman and JV games, each team will just go into one end zone and, huddle up there. But, the Orioles actually went to the locker room this time. I don't think I've ever seen that in a JV or freshman game before. So now we got Moulton and another receiver out to the left, one to the right. Cameron Sims, the running back. Zach Reinhardt in shotgun. Takes the snap, rolls to his right. Screen pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. I'm not sure if the either Moulton or I'm not sure if the intended receiver was Moulton or McBride. So 14-13 the score. 4th down and 8, excuse me. So Avon failing to move the chain. No, there you go for a fake. They got a man open. McBride, he had it in his hands and he just dropped it.
Well, that was perfectly executed, too. I mean, perfectly drawn up. Just wasn't executed.
Yep, that is correct. So now the Shamrocks will take over an excellent field position at the Avon 37, 14-13 your score.
Hey, Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up. Learn more about them at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com.
So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Reinhardt in shotgun. And now he takes it, but he charged upon getting the snap, but they were ready for him, and they crushed him. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So
71, Julian Skinner with the big hit that time for Avon.
4 minutes to go now, 3rd quarter. Westfield with the ball and a 1-point lead. Playing with 5 receivers, no running backs. So now screen pass by Nance out to the left to Pettyjohn. He gets over to the left side. He's got some room inside the 25, 20, 15, and he tries to go all the way into the end zone. He carries the guy with him. The question is, where did he step out of bounds?
They're going to put him down at the 1-yard line there, Lack. Boy, that was just one where he just refused to go down. He just kept going.
So Pettyjohn playing like he wants to be on the varsity squad later this year, and, probably will be at the rate he's going. So now 1st and goal. It looks like they're at the. Looks like they're down at the 1. The Westfield trying to pad their lead here. Nance takes it himself, and we got a flag here. The play's whistled dead.
That is usually illegal movement. Yeah, it is. It's going to be illegal movement on the Shamrocks, so that'll move them back 5 yards. As I think that play was going to come up short anyway. But Avon will certainly use the 5 yards of breathing room.
So definitely, a little bit of a break there for the Orioles. Of course, even with a touchdown and a 1-point conversion, it would be an 8-point deficit. So the Orioles could tie with a touchdown in the 2. So it wouldn't be a disaster, but certainly, you'd like to stop them if you can, or at least hold them to a field goal. So now, pass fake, and then Nance throws up the middle, incomplete. The pass was a little low. The receiver had to get down and wasn't able to get the grip on it. The intended receiver there, was Pat Beam. He's a sophomore. So even 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter now. Westfield 14, Avon 13. The Shamrocks have it 2nd and goal at the 5. They now line up with 2 receivers to to each side now. Fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, and he throws into the throws up the middle, and it was almost caught there by Pettyjohn, who and had he caught it. Now he's limping. Pettyjohn is limping. That's one guy they can't afford to lose, and he's limping off the field on his own power, but clearly, he is in some discomfort there. Or is he going to try to stay in the game? It looked to me like he was saying something to somebody over on the sideline. Yeah, I think he's going to stay in the game. I can't imagine that they wouldn't at least want to take a look at him, because he clearly, is not at full strength right now. So 3rd and goal at the 5. Owen McGraw, the running back. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Pettyjohn is one of the receivers to the right. And now Cameron Mance takes it. He tries to take it himself over on the left side. He gets inside the 5, dives, and I think he's going to be pushed out of bounds around the 2.
Yeah, so 4th down now coming up for the Shamrocks. They've got to get into the end zone, obviously, on 4th and goal.
They could go for a field goal here, which would... he's down at the 1. They could go for a field goal, which would make it a 4-point lead, which would mean that the Orioles would have to get the touchdown. But they are, and now they got some movement here at the line. Westfield clapping, apparently believe that it's against, and you see an Oriole pounding his fist in agony. So maybe he knows he's the culprit. So 2:48 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Westfield now 4th and goal at the 1. 3 receivers to the right. Cameron Nance takes it, gives it up to Owen McGraw, but they stop him.
Yeah,
they stop him.
He had it, Leck. He was going down his body. It was one of those cases where his body was over the goal line. The ball was not. Tried to reach the ball out. And Oriole came in and busted him back, and a nice stand there by the Avon defense to keep him out of the end zone.
Boy, I'll tell you, we've seen some great defense. Both of these teams have very promising defensive lines. And, so if you're a fan of either of these programs, you're really excited, about these kids moving up to the varsity level in a year or two. So now Avon will take over on their own 1, trailing by 1 point. 2:35 to go, 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Reinhardt gives the ball. They're going to try to get him for the safety. They do. They got him for the safety.
Yeah, that's really just a no-win proposition back there. They went out of the shotgun, which was surprising because that means the ball's going to be in the end zone a lot longer. But it will result in a safety, which means the lead extends to 3 now, 16-13, 2:27 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and Avon will be forced to punt it away. And take a moment to thank the Avon Dental Center. Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher Lefebvre of Avon Dental Center have been practicing in Hendricks County with Hendricks County families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech, they're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. You can get more information at avondentalcenter.com or by calling 272-8100.
Well, with 2:27 to go here in the 3rd quarter at Avon, your Orioles have fallen behind 3 points there after a goal line stand in which the Orioles stopped the Shamrocks from scoring a touchdown on the first play of the ensuing possession. Cameron Sims was tackled in the end zone for a safety, giving the Shamrocks 2 points, and now the Orioles will do a free kick from the 20. We have 2 Shamrocks back deep to receive. So he punts it. It's fielded at about the 43, brought past the 50, up to the 40, now up to the 39. So a nice return there by number 33, who is not on the roster here. So I apologize that I do not have a name for him. It's ironic there are 2 number 32s on the roster, Pettyjohn and then Sean Sykes, but no number 33. But it's part of the charm of high school balls that they change numbers on us all the time. So they're going to start the drive now at the 40. And if they score a touchdown, they will have a 2-possession lead. So now Pat Beam and Caleb Pettyjohn lining up to the right. And Pettyjohn seems to be okay. He looked like he had suffered an ankle injury a few plays back, but he has not shown any signs of it now as far as I can tell. So now fakes the handoff, but they sack now Nance for a loss of 2 or 3. They were right on top of him. Avon trying to avoid going down in a 2-possession hole. And keep in mind, only 10-minute quarters here in JV ball.
Yeah, nice job by the interior line there for Avon, not only to get into the backfield, but also take down a very slippery number 3, Cameron Nance.
So Pat Beam now lined up to the right, along with Matthew Meyer. And Cameron Nance in shotgun. We got Caleb Pettyjohn and 2 other receivers lined up to the left. 1:12 to go here, 2nd and 12 at the 42. And now it's pass up the middle. Caught by Pettyjohn, who gets it up to about the 36. That'll bring up a big 3rd down for the Orioles defense. And Pettyjohn looks like he's walking with a lot more comfort now than he was a few minutes ago, so that's good to see. So now we got, once again, Meyer and Beam up to the right, Pettyjohn and 2 others to the left. No running backs, which has been the case for a lot of the game. Nance takes it. Now he thinks about running it himself, looks downfield. He gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. He threw for Pettyjohn, but he wasn't able to get exactly where he needed to be because he was blocked by one of his defenders, so that'll bring up 4th down. I would guess they will probably go for it here. Of course, you could try to pin the Orioles down inside the 5. Maybe go for another safety.
The receiver there tried to use the referee as a human shield.
Now, I know that in basketball, under the official rules, the referees are considered part of the playing surface. I wonder if that's the case in football as well. But anyway, so same formation for the Shamrocks. 31.2 seconds to go. Plainfield has the ball in a 3-point lead. And now Nance takes it, throws up on the right side. He's got a completion for the 1st down, and he kneels at the 20. That was Matthew Meyer there. So now they could run out the rest of the quarter here. So the Shamrocks strike the red zone again, and they will not have to run another play in the quarter. They lead 16-13 following a 14-yard touchdown pass from Cameron Nance to Caleb Pettyjohn, and then a safety sacking Cameron Sims in the end zone. So the clock ticks down to 0, and we head to the 4th quarter here at Avon with the score Westfield 16, Avon 13.
Yeah, very exciting game here, and this is a huge possession, as you said, because the score would make it a 2-possession ball game. So Avon desperately wanting to keep the Shamrocks out of the end zone as we near the 10-minute, or we are at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, that's right, and I'll tell you, these JV and freshman games we've done this year, and we've done, I guess, 5 or 6 of them now. Still have, I think a couple more to go. Often they've been more exciting, more competitive than the varsity games that we've done. And, a lot of the varsity games we've done have been real blowouts. But this one has been a thriller. Than the last one, Decatur Central versus Plainfield last week. Man, that was almost one of the best comebacks I've ever seen in high school ball. With Decatur Central scoring 3 late touchdowns and having a chance to get the ball back and take the lead there at the end, and some of the others as well. So now same formation now on the other end of the field. 1st and 10 at the 20. Westfield trying to put this one into deep freeze. Got Matthew Meyer, Caleb Pettyjohn, and another player out to the left. Pass up the middle now to Jake Miner off his hands, and that will bring up 2nd and 10. So well thrown, well-timed play. Just didn't quite get the grip on it. 9:55 to go now. Westfield up by 3. So once again, Avon varsity team 3-4, but they're 3 plays away from being 6-1. Still with a shot to make a good playoff run. Back to action here, though. Nance gets the snap, looks around, and they're about to sack him. He gets rid of it, though, so bringing up 3rd and 10. So 2 incompletions in a row, and Avon's chances suddenly look a lot better of avoiding a 2-possession hole here in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 10 at the 20. So now, let's see, we've got Tyler Canada, Caleb Pettyjohn, and Jake Miner all lined up to the left, and then we have Matthew Meyer and one other lined up to the right. Cameron Nance takes it, and he's pursued. He's in danger of being sacked. He throws into the end zone, but it's overthrown. So after they get it down to the 20, 3 consecutive incompletions for the Shamrocks, and it looks like they are going to go for what would be a 37-yard field goal. That would make it a 6-point lead, but that would mean that Avon could take the lead with a touchdown and a successful conversion of any type.
It's going to be a
37-yard
field goal attempt here, Lack, from the right hash.
So now the kicker. Wow, I think this is going to go. Yes, it does. So it's 37-yarder there by Bales.
Right down the middle, too.
Yeah, would have been good for much further. Speaking of kickers, I'll tell you, last night in the pregame warm-ups, I was watching John Hagee, and he was kicking 45-yarders, and one of them actually, at the time it went over the crossbar, the ball was higher than the posts. So, I mean, it would have been good from much further back. So, that guy, I think, is going to be joining his brother next year in Division I ball. Morgan Hagee playing up at Ball State. Of course, obviously, Avon is, now putting a lot of guys in college ball as well. Most notably, of course, the great Brandon Peters, one of the best quarterbacks ever to come out of Indiana. And really, Indiana has improved a lot as a high school football state in the last generation. They still are not known for putting out a whole lot of good quarterbacks, so that's what made Peters so refreshing.
Yeah, it's Avon football as well, but Indiana football has really, really improved over the past 10 years.
Yeah, it has, and hopefully we'll get more marquee quarterbacks. Because we had Tommy Stevens, he was more of an option quarterback, but he is playing at Penn State nevertheless, a sophomore now for the Nittany Lions. And now it's an onside kick, but it's recovered by the Orioles. And so they will have nearly a quarter. Like I said, they need a touchdown and a successful conversion to take the lead. It's been a 12-0 here in the second half. The Shamrocks have outscored the Orioles 12-0. First a touchdown, then a safety, and finally a field goal. So now lining up with Zion Davis to the left and Cameron Moulton to the right. Now they hand off to, I believe that's Cameron Sims. Yes, it is. He gets it past the 50, past the 45, and then drags a couple of receivers past the 40 up to the 27. So that's a good gain. Good gain by number 27. Gets up to about the 39, so that's a 21-yard gain there. 9:24 to go here in the fourth quarter. Avon with the ball trailing by 6. So now is Zion Davis lined up to the right, Cameron Moulton and Jabon Carter to the right. Handoff there to Cameron Sims. He breaks through for about 4 yards to about 35. The clock hits the 9-minute mark. Weather has it becomes progressively more pleasant throughout the game. Now very sunny now. Supposed to get up to the mid-60s today. So now we've got Moulton lined up to the right, Davis, and now a handoff there to Sims again. Starts off right but shifts left, and he gets up for just about 1 yard, so that'll bring up third down and about 5 for the Orioles. So they mark it at the 34. They're calling it 3rd and 3 on the scoreboard. The clock is stopped. I'm not sure why. And now Sims, after carrying on the last few plays, is now out. He's now taking a break. Just takes his helmet off now. Getting a well-deserved, well-earned break. So now we have Cedric McBride lined out to the left for the Orioles. And now we got the play whistle dead. Spencer Strout now is in there at running back. I'm sorry, that's Devon Effinger. I misread it as 35. He's actually 36. Tell you, I've never done an Avon. I've done a lot of lower level Avon games. I've never done an Avon varsity football game, but I would guess that these the color scheme for this uniform makes for good reading at night, which is a big deal for me as a commentator. So Lucas Carrillo now lined up to the left for the Orioles. Reinhardt takes it. He throws a bullet up the middle. It is almost caught, but it's incomplete. It was off the hands of Cameron Moulton. So that'll bring up 4th down and 10 yards to go with 8:03 to go in the game. The Orioles in 4-down territory. I guess they could, maybe they're going to try to pin them inside the 10 or so. Or they could go for a fake, which you see far more fakes in high school ball than at higher levels. I do not know. We had somebody here just asked if we have a 5th quarter. I didn't even know what a 5th quarter. This is my 5th year of commentary. I didn't even know what a 5th quarter was until this year. I'll explain after this play. Anyway, so now we've they do punt it from the 50. It's a fair catch called for at the 15, and he gets it. So, but basically, in some of these games, they play a 5th quarter. Basically, for the kids who didn't get in the game, they have a. It looks pretty well like a scrimmage, and I think it's pretty informal from what I've seen of it. But that's what a 5th quarter is, and I think they play with a running clock too. I don't think they played a 5th quarter in that Plainfield, that Plainfield Greenwood game a couple of weeks ago, in which. Apparently, only half of the Greenwood team managed to get to the game. So now 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for the Shamrocks. They take over with the ball in a 6-point lead, a very crucial possession for the Orioles defense here. Cameron Nance has done a good job managing the offense today. Drops back. He's got plenty of time, but now they put pressure on him, and he throws it away. And now he looks like he's a little bit shaken. He's slow to get up.
There's a flag back at the 20-yard line.
He had plenty of time, but then when they finally got to him, he really ran and got rid of it, and he was in danger of a big loss.
Avon applauding.
That's always a good sign.
Now, that ball, if it is intentional grounding, it's going to be a spot of the foul penalty. Let's see. We wait here again for the
clock stopped with 7:21.
It is intentional grounding.
Yeah.
Very lucky that's not a safety because he was very close to the end zone. They're going to put him back at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't think he was close to anybody when he got rid of it. And usually referees are pretty liberal about whether the ball was in the vicinity of a receiver, but I didn't see anybody close to that one. Anybody with a white jersey, that is. Anyway, now a pass up the middle, incomplete. The intended receiver there was Matthew Meyer. He got one hand on it, so that'll bring 3rd and very long for the referee. I didn't know what he's doing. He set it at the 10, then he corrected himself, set it up at the 5. So that'll bring about 3rd and 20 there. So the Orioles have a good chance to get it back in excellent field position here as the Shamrocks line up 2 receivers to each side, 1 running back. Nansen shotgun standing right at the end zone at the goal line. They hand it off now, and I couldn't tell who it was, but he gets it up just to about 10. That was Dorian Hinson. So that'll bring up 4th down and long. So the Shamrocks will be punting from inside their end zone. So he could have an all-out blitz there by the Orioles to block it. I saw a blocked punt in the end zone that was returned for a touchdown by Frankfurt against, by Danville against Tri-West a few weeks ago, but he gets it off, and he muffs it, and I think the Shamrocks came up with it. If they did, it's a terrible break for. No, they said that he did manage to get on top of it, but man, that was a close one.
Very close. It was 1 against 4 down there going for the ball. Luckily for Avon, they ended up back with it.
that is lucky, yeah. So now the Orioles have the ball, 6:25 to go, just barely inside Westfield territory. They need a touchdown and a successful conversion. Been an exciting game. Teams never separated by more than 7 points. Looks like we're going to have a barn burner of a finish here at Avon. And now we have the Orioles line up Cedric McBride and Cameron Moulton out to the right, and Zion Davis to the right, the other two to the left. They give it to Cameron Sims. He's nearly brought down for a loss, then breaks free, moves over to his right, and gets back up about to the line of scrimmage. He still might have a slight loss, but they're marking him down at the other 49s for a loss of 2, but could have had a loss of 4 or 5. So 2nd and 12 now. The clock passes the 6-minute mark. And, man, what an exciting game it's been. So now we've got, out to the left we have Davis and Moulton. Then we have McBride to the right. Sims, the running back. Fake standoff to Sims. Throws over to McBride, but there was some miscommunication between the two, and it falls to the ground incomplete. Looks like there was some confusion between the two about when McBride was supposed to shift, so that brings up a crucial 3rd and 12 for Avon, 5:37 to go, trailing by 6. They've been outscored 12-0 here in the second half. They led after scoring first in the first quarter until sometime in the third quarter when when Westfield took the lead, and have continued slowly piling on ever since. So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Reinhardt throws up the middle into a crowd, and it is incomplete. So 4th and 12 now, and it looks like they will punt. Remember, Avon still has all 3 timeouts left, so I guess their hope now is to try to pin the Westfield deep in their own territory, and then force a 3 and out, and then get the ball back, with still enough time so that they don't have to rush. So now we have back deep to receive. We have Caleb Pettyjohn for Westfield. Mansfield now back to punt, takes it. It's a high punt, and fair catch taken at the 26 by Pettyjohn. So 5:25 to go here in the fourth quarter. Westfield just taking the ball back on the punt, and they have a 6-point lead. So now the pressure goes on the Orioles defense here at Avon. We're in week 7 of the Indiana high school football season. Very pleasant first day of October. And, when you get to the month of October, that means that's the month you start the playoffs. So there's a lot of excitement here, especially as, Avon and a lot of the Hendricks County teams really have a lot of high aspirations for this playoff season. So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Nance takes it himself. It's a keeper, and he breaks through on the right side. He's got the first down, and Moore slides down just shy of the 40.
Very smart move that time, Leck, because not only did he get the first down, but he stayed in bounds. He realized they were trying to push him out of bounds, so that'll keep the clock moving here as it's enough for the first down.
Yeah, in fact, they're supposed to stop the clock to move the chains, but they didn't even do that. So, anyway, 4:47 to go now and counting. And the Orioles, the Shamrocks now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Owen McGraw. And now I fake the handoff, and Nance takes it himself, and he gets about 5 yards. I just realized the reason I was confused, because number 20 for Avon is McBride, and number 20 for Westfield is McGraw. So that threw me off there. But anyway, 2nd and 5 now. Westfield has the ball at their own 43, 4:08 to go and counting. They're trying to run out this clock with a 6-point lead. Avon trying to get the ball back with one last chance to win it. They would need a touchdown and a successful conversion. Mansfield 1 of 2 on extra points, his last one having been blocked. So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. McGraw, the running back. Nance in shotgun. Takes the ball. Now fakes the handoff. Throws, and he's got is nearly caught there. The intended receiver was Pat Beam. So a good break for the Orioles. The clock does stop with now a very crucial 3rd and 5 coming up. Keep in mind, Avon does have all 3 timeouts left. I'll tell you, when a lot of these guys are probably going to be playing varsity ball in a year or two, and I'm sure this is a game. Whoever wins this one, these guys are going to look back at this one in a year or two and probably have a lot of great memories of it. So 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Takes it. Now keeper there by. But they're right on top of him. There's a nice effort there by Cameron Nance.
Now Avon's going to spend a timeout.
That's their first.
With 3:29 left to go in the ball game. A little bit surprised Westfield threw the ball there on 2nd down.
Yeah, certainly. Basically they gave the Orioles a free timeout. As it is, Avon just used their first, so they have 2 left, 3:29 to go now. And we will likely have a punt. I would assume that this is not a time when Westfield would likely go for a fake. There's Nance tried to keep her on that one, but they were right on top of him. Nance has not had a whole lot of success rushing the ball tonight, although he did have the first down earlier on this possession, which extended the drive for probably a minute and a half. Would have been more had it not been for that incomplete pass. So apparently Avon will get the ball back with a chance to tie or take the lead. Saturday morning football here, from the Friday night lights to the Saturday morning sun. So now, Bales on. It's a low snap, but he does get it off. And it bounces at the 32, takes a Westfield bounce inside the 25 up to the 22. So, 78 yards, that's how far your Orioles have to go. 3:16 to go, 2 timeouts. Will they do it? It's been a wild and woolly game. It's been very competitive the whole way. Looked like a couple of times in the first half that Avon was the better team and, had a good chance to pull away, but they never quite got it done. And, Westfield kept hanging in there. And then, really as they crept back in it and kept on slowly adding on to their lead. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Reinhardt in shotgun, 1 running back. High snap, but he gets it. Passes up to Sims. Gets some room on the left side. Goes over to 30, 35. He's got the first down, and he gets out of bounds. So good start to the drive for the Orioles. 2:56 to go now. They mark Sims. They're saying he stepped out at the 37. So again, a 15 yards to start the drive, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, perfect play right there. Not only big chunk of yardage picked up, but also got out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yes. So 2:56 to go now. Now that they start the clock again. Now Davis lines up to the right. Moulton and Carter line up. Moulton and Carter line up to the right. Davis to the left. Now a handoff to Sims again, but this time they're ready for him. He takes it over to the left side. However, he's got some running room. He's got a first down, no more past the 45, 40. He's still on his feet up to the 35, 30, 25. And he's over to the right side of the field. Breaks a tackle inside the 20. So we got a new game here at Avon. Outstanding rush there. That play covers about 50 yards there. Yeah, he took it from the, 49 yards from the 37 to the 18. So outstanding start to the drive for Avon on 2 runs there by by Cameron Sims, covering 64 yards total. Now he comes out of the game. He's replaced there in the backfield there by Jabon Carter, along with one receiver to each side, Reinhardt and shotgun, 2:15 to go and counting. Now Avon prospects looking a lot better now, and we got a flag. The play whistle dead, 2:10 to go.
It's going to be offsides on Westfield. Boy, Sims that time he was hit in a pile there at the line of scrimmage, just stayed on his feet, really got down. And you talk about a running back's ability to get low, and it avoided the tacklers, was able to come out of the pile. And Barry Sanders was one of the best of that, Leck.
Yeah, Barry Sanders is one of those guys. It's hard to believe I'm saying this about a Detroit Lion, but Barry Sanders is one of those guys whenever he was on, I would just stop whatever I was doing and watch. So now we got McBride and Moulton out to the right. And now hand off to this time to Carter. He takes it up the middle for about 3 or 4. But I'll tell you, when they first handed it off to Sims and he went up the middle, I was shaking my head. It's like, oh no, you're going to get hit, and then you're going to lose a lot of time off the clock and not gain much. But boy, did he prove me wrong when he on his second, third, fourth effort and managed to take it 49 yards, all over the field too. He ran in several different directions. So now McBride and Moulton out to the right, Davis to the left, Carter the running back. Reinhardt in shotgun, fakes the handoff, throws over to Davis inside the 10. Now he plows his way up almost to the 5. He's got the first down, 1:13 to go. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. But with 2 timeouts, though, inside the 10 and over a minute to go, Avon really has a full range of options now.
Yeah, they can definitely milk this clock down. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Westfield does here because they have all their timeouts left, whether they elect to get aggressive using timeouts. And you may see it after this play here that Westfield will do that. But we'll see. We're inside of a minute to go now as the game's on the line.
Sims back in at running back. Sims gets it. He's up through the 5. He's up to the 3. We've got a scrum here, and I think they're going to give him forward progress up to the 2. 48 seconds to go now. Avon trailing by 6, but they're threatening to score. They have the ball down at the 2. Second down and goal. And the clock's still ticking. Avon has 2 timeouts left.
And a timeout finally called by Westfield. I'm surprised. Valuable time moved off the clock there that they didn't use a timeout sooner than that, but elected to not to for some reason, and now with 37 seconds to play, Avon will have second and goal.
I'll tell you, all the commentating I've done this year, I think the number one fundamental problem I've seen, and I'm not picking on any team, I mean in general of all the games I've done this year, the number one problem I've seen fundamentally is poor clock management. And that's something that as a coach would drive me up the wall, but that's why we have these JV games so we can iron out all the wrinkles, polish the rough edges. And so let me catch my breath here, after last night and then after this game as well. Second and goal at the 3. Avon trailing Westfield 19-13. Avon led from scoring first in the first quarter until the third quarter when Avon took a 14-13 lead. Since has added a safety and a field goal. Now Avon back to resume offense here. And now fakes the handoff. No, he gives the handoff to Cameron Sims, but he fumbles! Loose ball. Who has it? 31 seconds to go.
Now the question is whether he was down or not.
Yeah.
That is the question. No signal yet from the officials. Westfield has run off the field in celebration, but it looked like he was down to me, Lack.
He could have been. It'll be interesting to see what the referees say. It's 27.7 left.
And now the signal is, looks like they're going to give it to Westfield. They do. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's one if you had instant replay, probably would be scored a little differently because it looked like he was definitely down when that ball popped out. We saw one last night at the Brownsburg-Zionsville game where a clear missed call was overturned when the officials got back together. But this time, looks like they might have missed that one.
Yeah, but here's the situation, though. The ball's only about 1 inch in front of the goal line, so they're not going to be able – if they were to do a kneel down from here, it would be a safety, so they're going to have to try to get a positive gain here.
Yeah, and Avon can make them run 3 plays.
Yes, so that would give them a better chance to get a safety. And, of course, it's also possible that, if it gets down to the final seconds that Westfield would intentionally give up the safety and, give, at that point, Avon what would be a meaningless 2 points, and just so they can kick off from the 20. but we shall see. So now they try to plow forward. I think he got a yard. The Orioles immediately called timeout, 25.5 to go.
Yeah, normally at this, because the Avon does not have enough timeouts to stop the clock, but normally you just, out of courtesy, they'd take the knee and that'd be it. But being this far back in the field of play, Avon obviously wants to make them at least snap the ball.
Yeah, and of course, they had Nance knelt down where the balls were originally spotted. It would have been for a safety. But as he was able to get 3 yards out of that, so that moves him out of the danger zone. So now he's in a position where he can kneel down. But yeah, so certainly assuming that that Westfield runs out the rest of the clock, it'll come down to a controversial fumble call. And there'll be a lot of debate about whether it was really a fumble or not. So now, one receiver to each side. And now that he takes it up and he's got the first down, and that will do it. So now they can just run off the clock. 20.2 seconds to go. The clock will stop to move the chains. Well, I didn't see that one coming. I just thought it would be a kneel down since he was up to about the 3 or 4. Nevertheless, Avon does take a timeout.
Yeah, so they're going to force him to kneel the ball down one final time. And assuming they do that, Leck, let's get your final thoughts on today's broadcast.
Well, it was a heck of a game. Exciting, nail biter the whole way, and unfortunately, it looks like the Orioles are going to fall just a couple of yards short. They made a great, valiant effort. Especially Sims did some outstanding rushing there on that last drive. As well as throughout the game. Remember, he had the 64-yard touchdown in the first quarter to open the scoring. But, yeah, it's one of those things. We wish we had the benefit of instant replay, to get a good look at what was ruled a fumble there at the end, on when he was close to scoring what could have been the game-winning touchdown. But now Nance looks like he will kneel, and he does, and that will be it. So, outstanding, exciting game. Unfortunately, falls just a couple of yards short for your Orioles, and they lose to the visiting Westfield Shamrocks 19-13 here on AudioSportsOnline.com.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Again, as we said, Avon does fall 19-13 in a hard-fought ball game. And we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We want to thank our sponsors again who make this possible, including McNamara Flores, Reynolds Body Shop, Red Cobra Wrestling, and the Avon Dental Center. For Lex Zorn, I'm Rob Kendall saying have yourself a great Saturday.
Good night.